it's recording. That weight may or may not have dropped on my foot trying to record that bit. Also, I can promise I can lift more than 8 pounds. That's just all we have. But hey, my name's Christian. As you guys probably don't know me because I never show in the camera. But today, for my project, we're going to talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's probably thinking, why choose Arnold Schwarzenegger out of all people? Well, I consider myself in the fitness community. I love fitness. I love working out. I currently work as a personal trainer. And it's just a huge passion of mine. And he was a huge inspiration for me getting into this hobby or sport. So I thought, okay, any excuse to talk about him's cool. I'll be intrigued by the topic and more enticed to do it. So that's why I chose Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he's a great actor. He's one of the best actors ever because he's really not. But I think it's tremendous how he did become a household name from acting, from someone with no acting experience and just kind of learned on the fly. But so to know how he got into acting, we got to go to his past. So he was born in Austria and from a young age fell in love with working out and lifting weights. So lifted, lifted, lifted. Wouldn't see much results until he got in his late teens where out of nowhere he just blossomed. Use of steroids maybe, but hey, I'm not here to judge. So after years and years of lifting, finally got a physique he was super proud of. So with that, decided to compete in bodybuilding, which is one of the hardest, most competitive sports, and I don't think that's something people realize. So after winning a bunch of smaller bodybuilding events in his home country and throughout Europe, he decided he wants to hit the big stage. He wants to prove to the world that he's the best bodybuilder. So he decided to compete in the Mr. Olympia competition, which is the biggest bodybuilding competition in the world, and that's where the best of the best compete in. So he decided to try it out, and he won again and again and again. He just kept winning that competition every year. So he people started talking about him. They're like, "Oh, this guy, like, he has a funny accent and he's really nice and humble, but he's like this behemoth of a man that like is super intimidating, but he's like a really sweet guy at heart." And it started circulating around that he was just a really awesome guy to be around. So, after getting some notoriety from his bodybuilding competition, he appeared in a documentary called Pumping Iron in 1977. So, with this documentary, now the world saw Arnold and they saw, okay, this guy looks scary, but he seems to be such a nice and humble guy, and it made people want to work with him. And he was getting calls left and right to appear in different things, to be a speaker to children, to come to gyms and encourage people, and even movie executives were calling him saying, "You want to be in a movie?" So Arnold was super hesitant at first because he's never done acting class. He's never done anything close to acting. All he really knows is putting lifting up heavy things and putting them back down. But he got his first movie appearance in Conan the Barbarian in 1982. And that movie did relatively well. It did pretty well. So after that, everyone was like, hey, for being his first movie, he didn't do a bad job. So this led to him getting the lead role, or one of the lead roles, in the Terminator 1984. As we've seen, we recently watched this movie for the class, and I thought it was a great movie. And what I didn't know is that this was the second movie he's ever done. And yeah, he didn't blow me out of the water with his performance, but for being his second movie, I think he did a great job showing emotion and just getting into the character of the Terminator. So this movie is what blew him up into from star to super mega star, where anyone who was anyone wanted to be seen with him. They wanted him in every movie. They wanted him to make appearances everywhere, and he went from just a guy who was pretty big from Austria to a world renowned star just off two, three movies. And as we all know, Terminator was critically acclaimed. It was it's widely considered one of the best sci-fi action movies of all time, and for good reason. Not only Arnold performed well, but I think the other actors in that movie played or performed very well as well. I think just everything about that movie was really good. I think the way slow motion was used in the beginning scenes to draw out the dramatics was great, and I think for the time being in 1984, I think the effects were really good for those times. So Arnold got lucky getting that role, and he proved that this isn't just a one-time thing, that he is here to stay. The cool thing with Arnold that have tremendous respect for is he always wanted to stay relevant. After he realized he was getting older and his body can't constantly get bigger and bigger, that's just when he started going to acting. And acting blew him up, but then Nothing's Forever started to fade down in later years. So what does he do? Make a YouTube channel, make an Instagram, pull a stunt to stay relevant? No, he becomes the governor of California. I think I might be the only person that blows my mind. This guy, who's not even from this country, and there's nothing wrong with that, but he came to this country to lift weights, right? And then got notoriety and learned so much and was so well respected that he was able to become the governor of a huge state. And he was really well received as governor. But we're not here to talk about that. That just blows my mind, and I think that's really cool. Nowadays, Arnold is enjoying retirement, or I don't know if he's officially retired, but he hasn't appeared in anything as of recently. He's been very active on social media such as Instagram and YouTube, and he's always posting his updates and how he's maintaining his physique at an older age, which is really cool and interesting to watch. I actually, this is just a tidbit, but he's vegan now, which I think is crazy because typical meathead bodybuilders, you always see them eating a ton of chicken, turkey, beef, but he converted into veganism and he said it's one of the best decisions he's ever made. So I don't know, I just think that's another cool fact about him. So what other movies? So we talked about the Terminator and the original documentary he was in. What other movies has he been in? He was in Predator 1987, which is another really well critically acclaimed movie that blew up and got him continuous work in the movie industry. He was in Total Recall, which my mom said that's her favorite movie, and I don't think I've seen it, but now I have to. Um, he was in Commando in 1985. Oh, along with the Terminator, he was also in multiple sequels of that. So uh, sequels are never as good as the original, but hey, it was doing well enough that they were like, let's pump out more, let's get you more money. This movie I watched all the time as a kid, and I loved it even before I was into fitness, which Kindergarten Cop. I just thought that movie was hilarious. That it was just this big guy being like suckered by a bunch of kindergarten kids. He was in Twins in 1988. He was in The Last Stand in 2013. He was in The Running Man in 1987. Junior in 1994. Jingle All the Way in 1996. The Escape Plan in 2013. Batman and Robin in 1997. Eraser in 1996. End of Days in 1999. Red Heat in 1988. Hercules in New York in 1969. Okay, there's a lot of movies that I didn't realize. Aftermath, well, I think Aftermath, sorry, I forgot words. I think it is his most popular or most recent movie, I should say, in 2017. I could be wrong. I should probably look it up. But he's just been in an insane amount of movies, and it's crazy to me that it's someone who isn't a true actor at heart, right? Like all these actors that we see that have this longevity have been child actors almost. Like they started off young and they kept going. They got well respected at a young age in the industry that people just kept booking them. But Arnold was already, you know, in his late 20s, early 30s when he got called up to be in movies. So I think that's nuts to me that the way he adapted to becoming an actor, and it's not like he's just acted in like specific, like only done specific roles. Like he's done action, he's done comedy, he's done family movies. He has been a versatile actor, and I think that's amazing for someone who has no acting experience. So he's also won some awards. He's not just a fad. He is a winner of a Golden Globe, a winner of a Primetime Emmy. He's a multiple time nominee for the Saturn Award, a two-time winner of the Bambi Award. Um, he's a winner of the Blockbuster Entertainment Awards. I don't know how much credibility that is, but hey, that's another thing under his belt. And he has won Emperor Awards. That's an award based in the UK. Golden Apple winner in 1996. He has just won a bunch of different awards, and that's another thing that I want to like pick up on is I get like people in movies like LeBron James, for example, has been in multiple movies, and they're not using him because he's a great actor. They're using him. He's a big name. People are gonna want to watch. He might not be that good, but hey, and I think that was the initial goal with getting Arnold in movies, which was, oh, he's a big name. Everyone likes him. Who cares if he doesn't do good? People are gonna buy it. We're gonna make money, right? But no, he picked up on it. He got it going. He picked up on the cues, picked up on how to improve his craft, and with every movie, he seemed to get better and better. That's why I'm just fascinated by him. I'm fascinated by his career. I think he has a very different path than most people take, but nevertheless, it worked for him, and he's wildly successful. And he will always be an inspiration for people bodybuilding, for people acting, for even foreigners coming to the country and not knowing much. That he proved that anything's possible, and he was just a humble guy from Austria, and now he's one of the biggest names in the world. So, Arnold, I love you. You'll never see this. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Thanks for hearing me rant about my favorite meathead. Um, yeah, thanks.